You're listening to Entrepreneur's Enigma, a podcast about the ups and downs of the entrepreneurial journey. Every week, your host Seth Goldstein interviews entrepreneurs from all walks of life about their entrepreneurial journeys. From store owners to Fortune 500 CEOs, we all have stories to tell. So sit back and join us for the next 20 or so minutes while we explore the entrepreneurial world.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs and Enigma podcast. I'm Seth. You know that by now after 300 episodes. If you don't, I'm Seth. I am with Podcast Mastery and Goldstein Media. And today I have Scarlett Stanhope, aka the Biz Hippie. As you can tell if you're watching the video, she's got a nice, what is it, an elephant behind you?
Yes, it is.
Very nice, very nice. So it's kind of like a tapestry elephant, which is really cool. So kind of leaning into the hippiness, which is cool. So there we go.
Totally. I got the full plant and tapestry background going on.
Love it, my friend. Love it. So Scarlett teaches coaches to conquer their finances and own their worth so they can be fully invested in the work that they love. Scarlett harnessed the power of money to break free from her workaholic career path. God bless you, because we all have that trouble from time to time. And pursue her dreams. She uses a combination of tangible money management strategies as well as a variety of coaching techniques to help her clients transform their mindset and relationship with money, allowing them to strategically, so there you go, achieve their goals and live their best lives. So how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm really excited for this conversation.
Yeah. So what were you doing as a workaholic?
Yeah, so when I was from the ages of like 16 to 21, I worked in the restaurant industry. I started as
God.
as a hostess, and then I started managing the restaurants by the time I was 18.
You talk about workaholicness. You have to be.
Yes. Especially this was like a high-end sushi restaurant, so I was working late nights. I always got home at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. every weekend and, dealt with all the drunk people in the bar late at night. Those full moon Thursdays were always a bit weird. So restaurant industry, managing a team, and at the same time I was getting my bachelor's in business management, accounting, and finance. So I was, maintaining that type of corporate success educational path as well.
Oh man, so you were a workaholic and a student holic.
Yes.
And try to manage both at the same time. That's gotta be tough, Oh my God. And so you did that for how long were you? So from 16 to what, 22, 23?
21, yeah. So I was in that specific restaurant for 4 years, and then I popped around to other locations within the same company as well. And I did it throughout all of high school, all of college. I paid for college from, working with no student loans,
awesome.
just paid for it out of
way
pocket.
to go.
So
That's awesome. You worked for it, but now you're reaping the benefits that you don't have, the loan companies saying you owe this every month for the next 40 years.
Yes, exactly. I did make some choices that worked out very well, but it was interesting because on paper, it looked like I was crushing it and I was doing everything right. I was like, oh, I have no student loans, no credit card debt. I'm making more money than my friends my age. I have the fancy job title. I have money in savings.
But you weren't able to go and have fun that much either, I'm sure.
Totally. Yeah. At the same time, I was like completely unfulfilled and was just doing the things that I thought I was supposed to be doing and checking all the boxes to reach success. But looking back, it felt really like meaningless in so many ways.
But nothing's meaningless. Everything happens for a reason, I feel like, and you obviously learned how to manage your time. Like literally, if you're doing restaurant work and managing a restaurant while going to school, you clearly have to know how to time management or figure it out really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely gained so much from that period of time in my life, especially like that was really the foundation to my journey and the work that I do now is recognizing, oh, that was a very misaligned way of living. And in some ways, it really set me up for some solid foundations for what I do now. But it also taught me like what not to do in a lot of ways too.
And you can also coach people on how not to do what you did. But they're still going to do a lot of what you even though you tell them not to, because you have to learn from your own experiences. But you can try your best. You can try your best to not,
Definitely. And you know, I mean, the biggest takeaway was it wasn't like if what I did was wrong. I mean, it's awesome. Like, yes, of course, be strategic with your money. Of course, save money. Of course, do all
Yeah.
those things and manage your time well. But what was misaligned for me was the fact that it was all rooted in success and money. And that was the only thing that mattered,
Hmm.
as opposed to being something that I actually cared about or things that was actually important to me.
And
And it all came
fulfilling.
from,
Yeah.
yeah, like a lack of self-worth was driving all my actions.
We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show. Oh, oy. So you left the restaurant world and you jumped right into this? Or what did you do after you left the restaurant world?
Yeah, so I was still working in the restaurants and getting my bachelor's, and I also started working for a company called Richer Than You Think, which helps individuals
Ooh.
manage their money, and it's more along the lines of
Oh,
personal finance and budgeting. So that's where I learned
yeah.
more about the personal finance side in addition to my, corporate finance degree. And then it was
Yeah.
directly after I got my bachelor's that I took a 180 and dove into life coaching, and that's really when I began my life coaching practice. And as I like to say, I swung into full on hippie mode. And that's when I started saying yes to every opportunity that came my way that felt like it was aligned for me. And so I became a yoga
So there you go.
instructor, Reiki
But that's the key.
practitioner.
Well, that's the key there. Is
Yeah,
the best is saying yes to every opportunity that was right for you. Not every opportunity. 'Cause every opportunity is not necessarily right for you. So you got to figure out the right ones.
right. Exactly. What's
Yeah.
really in alignment. And I think that was a huge part of what I had to learn was what were
Yeah.
the aligned choices for me as opposed to just like going with the flow of what I thought I should be doing.
Oh, absolutely. So you escaped college, you escaped the restaurant industry. You're now doing your biz hippie selfness. Whatever words escape me today. But and so what do you like the most about being an entrepreneur? Since this is an entrepreneurial podcast.
Yeah. Well, since being in business for 5 years, it has been such a
You made
journey.
it.
I
five
did it.
years. 5 years. You've made it past the 5 year hump. That's awesome.
Yes. And personally, I love it because I'm such a big, like, I love the personal growth and development journey. And I feel like
Yeah.
entrepreneurship is such a catalyst for personal growth. In order to do it and be successful, you
Hmm.
have to keep working on your own mindset, your emotional resilience, your ability to like keep going, to keep getting creative and solving problems and serving people. So it's been a huge part of my journey to love the process, even though it
You
can be
have to.
challenging in a lot of
Oh.
ways.
Oh my God. The process is and it can be very humbling at times. I guess is the word I'm going for. Humbling or depressing at times because it's like, why is it not going the way I want it to go? And then you're like, oh, this is why. Let me change this. Oh, now it's going the way I want it to go. So that works. So
Yeah,
definitely.
absolutely. Especially, like early stage business. I was really struggling and wondering why isn't it working? Why am I not succeeding? Why am I not making traction? It was really hard and frustrating for
Hmm.
me for a long time. But then the further I got into it, then I started to realize, oh, this is just early stage business. I wasn't technically doing anything wrong. I was just building the
No.
foundations of success.
Hmm. Absolutely. And that's the key is that you got to realize that like the first 5 years of any business is going to be tough. And that's the reason why a lot of them, after 3 to 5 years, businesses don't survive because people are like, "This is tough," or the money flow wasn't there, or there was no falling back on finances and stuff like that. So you do you work mostly with coaches and whatnot, or do you work with other people too?
Yeah, I do work with people outside the coaching industry, but I love especially working with entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, people who really want to support themselves financially doing work that they love instead of staying in
Mhm.
an unfulfilling job that doesn't serve them. That's really who I love to work with because I find that this is the common belief with money. And that was the belief that I had growing up that either we could live lives we love or we can make money, but we can't do both. And so I'm a big believer
Yeah,
of proving that it's possible. Like, of course, we can do the work we love and support ourselves financially. And that's really what I help my clients to do.
I love that. So we kind of talked about like how what the best thing about being an entrepreneur is, the freedom and whatnot, and kind of setting your schedule and all that. But what keeps you up in as an entrepreneur, especially you're 5 years out. I mean, you're still just out over the hump. What keeps you up at night as an entrepreneur?
I mean, I spend so much time thinking about my business. It's literally the
Mm,
first thing that I think about when I wake up in the morning, but I actually take that
mm-hmm.
as a good thing and I use that as evidence that, I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. And
Absolutely.
even when there's struggle and challenges, and even when I feel like it's not quite working out, I do get so motivated when I shift into the perspective of, okay, well, what can I do about it and how can I solve for this? So I'm constantly creatively thinking about what's next. And I would say that's what keeps me up, but it's more of I'm awake in the middle of the night and I can't go to sleep because I'm just spending so much time thinking about what's next and thinking about my business.
Oh, I know that feeling. 17 years doing my business, and every day is a new adventure. And the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights. They're like, oh crap, how am I going to pay this bill this month? Oh, I have money this month to pay all my bills this month. Yay, that kind of thing. And kind of, especially in the beginning, figuring out how to live frugally and how to do it. Like I started Goldstein Media at the best time to start a business, 2008. So no one was giving out business loans. So I got a what was it, an 18-month no interest high credit limit card, and then that was literally my bank loan. Hence, credit card is a bank. American Express is a bank, so it kind of worked out. Got that, paid it off in 18 months, but started the business literally on that loan. And the rest, you kind of start cruising, and then like it's
Yeah.
managing that money, which is key, managing the flow and knowing like, all right, I shouldn't do this. And sometimes it's taking the risk, saying like I don't necessarily have the money for it right now, but will this pay dividends in the long run if I take the risk? And that's kind of the
Totally.
key.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest reasons why people are unsuccessful in business is because they quit, right? Like you have to keep going in order to actually
Hmm.
reach the business success. And one of the biggest reasons why people quit is because of the financial stress. And so it's so vital to
Hmm.
have a solid relationship with money, to be in control of your money, to see your money clearly, to manage it, to track it, and also work on your money mindset. That way you're able to keep going for the long haul because sometimes it is super risky. Sometimes it is really scary. I know I wasn't making good, consistent money like I hoped to or expected
Hmm.
to right away. And I had to
You never,
figure
if
out
you do that, you're a unicorn if you make money right off the bat. A lot of times
totally.
you jump out of the corporate world. You're, in your case, the restaurant world. You're like, all right, I got this runway, and then you go for it, and you're like, well, at this point, I gotta say yes, yay or nay, or figure something out. But it's like figuring out the money is key.
Right. So then you can keep going. So then you
Yeah.
can keep going for the long haul because if if you don't know what's going on and you're unable to manage the risks, then you just kind of go into freak out, downward spiral mode and you start applying for a bunch of 9 to 5 jobs and you throw in your towel for the
And they aren't
business.
fulfilling either.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with failing. There's nothing wrong with going back to the corporate world, but do it with a runway where like, all right, because doing a job, finding a job also is a full time job, ironically. And so, if you know that the business is not doing or should be a side hustle, not a main hustle, take the time to ahead of time to plan out so you can find the right full time job if you need to. Don't just take it nine because then it's not fulfilling. Then you're gonna be like, this is miserable, and you're even more miserable. So.
Yeah, exactly. And I found that to be true for me too. Like when my business wasn't making money, I had so much resistance to getting other work to support myself financially because
Yeah.
I took it as a huge failure. But then I realized,
Yeah.
oh, me getting other money and other sources of income coming in is
Mm.
actually how I can keep my business going. So it's actually me
Mm.
committing even
And more
more to my
structure.
business.
You
Mhm.
also it seems like you thrive on structure because you did the crazy not 9 to 5, 9 to like 12-hour day shift. You know, in the
Yeah.
restaurant world plus school. So having a side hustle is a main that's a side job to finance your main job is not, I can see you being excelling at that. So.
Totally. And I think the difference comes to what you already touched on, which is, making it a conscious decision and part of a plan and a strategy, as opposed to just being
Yeah.
like, oh, well, I failed and this is the only choice and I don't want to do it. But instead, we have lots of options. It's like, okay, what's going to be the
Mm-hmm.
best choice for me that gives me the income that I need to support myself, that gives me the
Love it.
time flexibility that I need for my business, and also feels most in alignment for me right now. And I think that's a huge part of it.
I love it. I love it. All right, so here's the big question of the podcast. What is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
I think that the most important thing to carry with you all the time is the fact that you are the one in control of your life. I feel like
Ooh,
before
love
I
that.
really recognized that, I felt like I was totally life was totally out of my control. I was just going with the flow, but then I realized like, oh, life is happening and I can do something about it. And so
Yeah.
remembering that always is like my foundation to everything.
Oh, I love that. Great answer. Bravo. Okay, I have some people that throw like my phone. I'm like, oh my god, can you be a little bit more creative than that? Yours was spot on. I love it. Awesome. So Scarlett, where can people find you online? Where's your main hangout online?
Yeah, I mean, my main hangout where you can just connect with me is on Instagram at thebizhippie.com. And if you want to connect more around, the work that I do, I have a super fun free quiz
Ooh.
where you can discover your money mindset type, understand what
Wait.
your current relationship with money is, and how to work with your money mindset type so that you can step into a more abundant life without money holding you back. So you can get the free quiz on my website, thebizhippie.com/quiz.
Love it. Scarlett, this has been so much fun. Thank you for being on, and we'll see everyone next week.
That was a great show. If you're enjoying Entrepreneur's Enigma, please consider giving us a review in the podcast directory of your choice. Every review helps us reach new listeners. If you like Entrepreneur's Enigma, consider the other shows on the Marketing Podcast Network at marketingpodcast.net.